at Kicking Cancer to the Curb, and tonight I am here with Michael Sapienza. How are you?
I'm great, Allison. Thank you.
I love your tie.
Thank you so much. Excited to be here in LA.
So Michael is the founder and president of Chris4Life.
Absolutely, yeah. So I think you know part of the story, but...
I do. Tell me the whole story, though. It's very touching.
Yeah, so unfortunately my mom passed from colon cancer on Mother's Day in 2009. She was diagnosed in 2006 with stage 4 colorectal cancer, and obviously it was a huge shock to me. I was a professional musician living and performing in Miami Beach, and when she passed, it was kind of something that our family knew that we had to do. No one talks about colorectal cancer, colon or rectal cancer, as we both know. And it's something that we've really been striving to make, obviously, a much bigger issue.
We talk about it now, especially on Kicking Cancer.
We certainly do. And I'm sure you've talked to your audience about the Love Your Butt campaign, but this is something that we feel is very important. You look at comparing different types of cancer, and I hate to do that because all cancer is bad, right?
Yes.
And we tend to, in certain cancers, like lump us into a group. But if you look at the awareness and the prevention that has been poured into breast cancer, it's amazing. And we've gotten rates for screening for mammograms up to like 85% in this country, whereas for colorectal cancer, they're at between 50 and 60%. And that's why it's the second leading cause of cancer-related deaths in this country. And that's something, the reason, we need to talk about loving your butt and kicking cancer to the curb and all these different things, because it's really important to get that awareness out there.
No, I consider myself, I wouldn't say lucky, but I'm glad that I can do something with this kind of cancer, because there are not very many people doing that, and I'm not afraid to talk about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
The site, Chris4Life, is an amazing site, and they have a place called Colon Town.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about some of the neighborhoods? Because I think this is like a huge thing for anybody who's going through it. Go to these neighborhoods. I've gone there myself. Huge support, so much love, so much understanding, and lots of good information.
Yeah, absolutely. So when we were founding the organization, there was 3 things we were thinking about. Research, right? Because we have 1.2 million Americans living with this disease. But then also, along with research, we have to have a place where people can gather and can communicate and can find support, and that's what Colon Town is. And Erica Brown, who is the mayor, quote-unquote, mayor of this virtual town that it has a platform on Facebook, has created this amazing community where people can go to places like Rectalburg, so those with rectal cancer can actually have an area where they can talk to similar survivors or patients that are going through it. There's a place called the Care Partner Corner, which is for people like myself who cared for my mother when she was going through disease. So it's really an amazing place where people find obviously like-minded and people in their same situation. So
because, as you said, it's not something that people like to talk about. So when you go there, you have to be invited.
Absolutely.
And then once you're there, it's just so amazing. I mean, I'm friends with people now that I've never met from just going there and uniting and sharing stories and lifting each other up. It's a wonderful place. It's a brilliant idea. I wish I knew about it when I was going through it, but I'm telling everybody about it now. So that's the most important thing. So where do you think we are going with colorectal cancer now? Like, are we moving forward in the right direction?
I do. I think we are. I absolutely do. I mean, I feel like, the organizations that are out there now, Chris4Life, Colon Cancer Alliance, Fight Colorectal Cancer, all these different organizations are striving towards, different things, but we are moving in the right direction. But I would say we're certainly not doing enough, and we need much more support for this disease. Because, you look at the major accomplishment this year for colorectal cancer at the big conference was the fact that stage 4 patients, 10% of them are living 5 years or longer, but only 10%. And that was celebrated. That was absolutely celebrated news. And in my opinion, that shouldn't be something we should be celebrating. Right. I mean, yes, we've made strides. I want to applaud those that have been working their behinds off to do that. But I think we need to keep pushing people, to up that number. We should be having, 80% of stage 4 patients are able to live 5 years or longer. Yeah. And then on the other side of it, in the prevention side, we should be preventing a majority of Americans from getting this disease.
Yes. And what about screening? Do you think it should be earlier? Because, I was fairly young when I got it. You're not supposed to get screened till you're 50, and I was 42. So what do you think about earlier screening?
Yeah, so guidelines are based on fact and are based on data. So, the U.S. government and all these organizations get together and they give us guidelines for a reason. What I would say, and this is like the million-dollar question, is how do we educate primary care physicians and the general public that there are people under the age of 50 that need to get a colonoscopy, that are being diagnosed under the age of 50. And actually that crowd is the one that's on the increase. I don't necessarily know if we need to raise the screening or lower the screening age. I think there's a lot that goes into that, but I do believe that education, both for the the public at large and for the primary care physician community, is essential for this. Not to tell a 30-year-old if they're having rectal bleeding and they can feel something in their side to go home and take Metamucil. They need to get a diagnostic colonoscopy. So I think that's where the general awareness really comes into play.
And that's exactly what happened to me. Nobody ever said the word cancer.
Right.
If this doctor that I went to, if she had said, this could be cancer, I would have hightailed it to get my colonoscopy. But I waited 7 months, as you know. That's my 7th month. Okay, so tonight, where are we?
We are at Ohm Nightclub in Los Angeles.
In Hollywood?
Hollywood, yep, absolutely.
And what are we doing?
We are having a casino night with a bunch of local and national celebrities.
Blue Royale Casino Night. Are you going to be gambling?
Absolutely, I will. I need to buy my chips, but yeah.
What are we going to do with the money?
So we're actually working with the University of California, UCLA, to work on a brand new research project with Dr. Randy Hecht, who actually should be here tonight, so you'll have to talk to him.
I definitely want to talk to him.
And
UCLA.
UCLA, yes. And then obviously we're also using it for the Love Your Butt campaign and for Colon Town as well. We'd love to bring, and have more support here in the California and the western part of the USA for our patients.
Yeah. I'm here to help. I have one last question.
Sure.
Do you love your butt?
Of course I do. Of course I do.
Michael is an amazing man, an amazing person. He's out here. He's like leading us forward in the world of colorectal and colorectal cancer, and I feel blessed to have met you. I found him online. I sent him an email. He called me right away, and here we are a year later.
Thank you.
Just a year later. So thanks for all that you do.
Thank you very much.
Okay, let's have some fun. Roll those dice.
Yay.
Woo!